So, how are you doing? Shall we take a moment to sense how we're doing? Because, wow, I think this is maybe the 7th or 8th of these weekly webinars, and that's, from my point of view, how long this World Health emergency has been going on. And I've been through so many feelings along the way. So one thing I love is the opportunity to sense freshly, like, how am I right now? Let's do that together. Let's do that together. Feeling your feet, feeling your seat, feeling your breath, and just feeling how you are right now. And this is such a key skill that I love supporting people in, and that is the skill of pausing and sensing. Pause and sense. How am I right now? And I notice that just from doing that, I start breathing more deeply. These deeper breaths start to come that are like, oh, it's almost like inside here is saying, thank you for asking. Thank you so much. Yeah. And maybe what we find when we stop and sense is something painful or distressing, anxious, tense, and even that is really important to sense and acknowledge. Yeah, very nice. So we're starting by this moment of inner acknowledgement, acknowledging how it is. I am such a big fan of acknowledging how it is, how it feels right now, how it feels right now to you. And here we are today, where I welcome all the issues that you might have. I don't assume that you're just here because of feelings about the World Health crisis, although that's a big one that we all have in common right now. But you could be having challenging, stressful feelings and thoughts about all kinds of things in your life. Even like the fallout from the World Health crisis, like who you are or aren't living with right now, or your job and employment situation. But I know some of you are going through something hard that doesn't even feel like it's about any of that. And all of that is welcome, and we don't even have to prejudge or evaluate what it is that's the reason for these things. Just noticing. Just noticing. Just noticing whatever's here, and that's how it is. And after noticing, the next step is acknowledging, and that's an inner saying to the feelings inside, yes, I know you're there. And do that with me right now. So especially if you're feeling something not so wonderful, like tight or constricted or anxious or painful, especially then, it's important. It can feel very helpful to say, yes, I know you're there. Yeah, rushing, kind of frantic. So Catherine wrote. Yeah. Hello, I know you're there. Hello, a frantic feeling, I know you're there. Hello, anxious feeling, I know you're there. Hello, sad feeling, I know you're there. Hello, something in me with a feeling I can't describe very well. I know you're there. So it's especially when the feelings are stressful, challenging, when part of us wants to push them away or distract ourselves from them. That's when it's especially important to say, hello, I know you're there. Groundlessness, Derek writes. Sarah writes, part of me is really not liking the negative feelings towards the person I live with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, that's what's happening for me too. The person I live with and I are having a lot more fights. And I'm lucky because at the same time, I feel we're becoming closer. And I feel very grateful that he's here. But it could be all kinds of things happening with people you live with. That's included, that belongs here. You might also be feeling, who's feeling something enjoyable? Like, I'm grateful that I'm pretty safe right now in the area where I live. And I can feel grateful and safe in my body right now. The feelings of dread that I had early on in this crisis, that something really terrible was about to happen, have lessened. I feel like, whether this is true or not, I don't right now think something really terrible is about to happen. Maybe that's the new normal. But I find in myself some grateful and safe feelings mixed in with a greater sense of worry and sadness about the longer term. And what are you feeling? Derek writes, I'm sensing frustration because I'm having difficulty naming the many feelings. Oh, well, let me help with that, because I want to let you know that I'm a big fan of not being able to name your feelings. I'm rattling them off as if it's easy to name them, right? Sad, anxious, and so on. But actually, the most fruitful feelings are those that we cannot easily name. And what I mean by that is, our bodies have, as we live, and we live in and through our body, in an interaction with the world around us, there are unique reactions to what we're facing. So we don't just have like 8 feelings that can be named, you know, sad, angry, scared, right? We have really infinite subtle shadings. And this is called felt sense. Felt sense is the name we give to the feelings that cannot be named easily. And yet what's exciting about a feeling that cannot be named easily, you feel it, it's here right now. It has great potential to connect you with your uniqueness. You're not just everybody's sad, everybody's scared, everybody's exhausted. That's true. And what's unique to you? What do you get to feel that's your own? And so I want to just say to Derek and anybody else who's got this feeling that you should be able to name your feelings, no, actually, it's so interesting and nice if you have a feeling that you cannot name yet. And when you name it, you'll probably need several words or a metaphor. It's like sitting at the edge of a dark lake, or it's like having the covers over my head. You may need a metaphor to describe your feelings. And the coolest thing about that is that when you sit with what you're feeling and it it's hard to describe, but then you can begin to describe it. That brings a shift. It brings a new step of awareness. You get some kind of, right there. Kim writes, I realized the piece of art called The Scream captured what I was feeling. Oh, I love that. That's by Edvard Munch. Yes. Well, so I was talking about finding a metaphor that can describe your feeling. Sometimes it's art, music, stories. You know, I have a feeling that's just like Darth Vader in that mask. Maybe. People are saying they love The Scream. Yeah, yeah. Cassandra writes, in my heart, an unbearable longing, an empty, lonely feeling, a sadness, a loss of hope. Yeah, yeah. So you say to that, I know you're there. I'm here with you now. Now, there's a thing that happens when we can acknowledge our feelings. When I can acknowledge how I feel, I become the one who can acknowledge how I feel. Because, you know, emotional states can take us over. It can, like, I am the anger, I am the anxiety. I get easily taken over by anxiety, I'll tell you. And then I feel like all of me is anxiety, and then everything the anxiety is telling me is true. And that just happens, right? It happens that we get taken over by our feelings, but then we notice that that's happened. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've just been taken over by anxiety. And it still feels true that all of me is anxious, but there's something happening right there when I at least notice that that's happening. I notice I've been taken over by anxiety. Right there, there's a little space. Oh, something new has now become possible. So is there a feeling that you find it easy to get taken over by? Is it loneliness, sadness, or something you can't name? Yeah. I love it how people are talking to each other in the chat. Haji writes, I feel safe here and now, but it's the future which seems full of holes and traps. Yeah. And Camille writes, shame. That's a feeling we get taken over, but you get taken over by, yeah. And Virag writes, the feeling of being very small and insignificant. Guilt, aloneness, the afternoon feeling. Oh, I don't know what you mean by that, but it's exciting. So we can notice when we're taken over by a feeling. That's thrilling. There's a step right there that's really huge. Feels like a small step. Feels like I'm still being taken over by it. All I did was notice it. But there's a step right there that's actually huge. Okay. So then the next step is to try this language. You've probably heard from me before, but there are some new people on this webinar, so everybody gets to hear it again. And the language is, I am sensing something in me feels, so I am sensing something in me feels guilt. I am sensing something in me feels lonely. I am sensing something in me feels anxiety. I am sensing something in me feels shame. And even if that doesn't feel true yet, like I am sensing something in me that feels like all of me is feeling anxiety or whatever. Can you try that? Want to give that a try? I'm sensing something in me that feels like all of me is feeling da. Some of you know this move very well, and for others it might be new. And people often tell me that this little shift of language has really helped. And that's why I keep teaching it, because it's something we have with us all the time, is that ability to turn toward what we're feeling, and the language helps us do that. So it's like, I am sensing something in me that feels, and then say what you've sensed about the feeling. So Camille, I'm sensing something in me that feels unsure. Very good. That's it. Derek, I'm sensing something in me that feels anxious about so many blind corners. Oh, Derek, that's great. So the anxious has already started telling you what it's anxious about. Excellent. This is what happens, is once we turn toward our feelings, we actually start to get more from them. It's like we are empathizing. We are there to listen to how they feel. And you know what? There's always more. There's always more than we knew. When we turn toward how we feel, we may be assuming, oh, I know, I already know. But when you turn toward it with a kind of fresh awareness, maybe there's more that I don't know, then something comes. Yes, yes. And so Virag, I'm sensing something in me that feels like all of me, that feels very small and insignificant. Beautiful. Well done. And I'm saying hello to that. So the next step after I'm sensing something in me that feels this way is, and I'm saying hello to that. Yay. Very nice. Do you feel that difference? And I'm saying hello to that. Now, hello is not I love you. Hello is also not go away. It's a contact. And contact is what we're doing here. We're saying, I'm sensing something in me, da-da-da, and I'm saying hello to that. And then we don't assume anything. Now, a lot of the time, there's another part of us that doesn't like this feeling. It wants to say, I need to get rid of it, or I need to go have some cookies, so I get rid of it. Has anybody started eating a bit more than usual? Yeah. Oh wow, I'm seeing such rich descriptions in the chat here. Yeah. A boat out at sea alone, an empty bag attached to my waist. Wow, so nice. Okay, Virag asked, do I, excuse me, I need a sip of water. Virag asks, do I just say hello to the feeling, or do I say out loud, I'm saying hello to it? Well, doing both helps me. Like if I say out loud, I'm saying hello to it, inwardly, I say hello to it, then that kind of really helps me. I have both the outer structural support, I'm saying hello to it, and inwardly, I am saying hello to it. But do whatever works for you. The essence is the relationship. That used to feel like a minute ago, used to feel like all of me. Now I'm sensing it as something in me. Even if that's kind of hard, and even if it feels like a big something. Oh, and by the way, if it is hard to feel yourself separate from the challenging feeling, then repeat this a few times. Try each time slowly, and each time sensing, what difference did that make that time when I said, and I am sensing something in me feels anxious. We're not, this is really important, we're not trying to change the feeling. It gets to keep feeling the way it feels. What happens is that we ourselves feel differently, even if the feeling is the same. Now I know that might be an odd thing to say, but when you try it, I think you can feel, look, I'm here, I'm okay, it's anxious. And from that position, you can keep realizing that the sun is getting in my eyes. I'm trying to find a spot where that's not happening, but hey, no problem. So, oh, maybe that's better. Here we go. When you say something in me feels this way, it can feel the way it feels. In fact, you could even say that to it if you want to. You can feel the way you feel. I am here to listen. You become the one who is with how you feel. Yes, Susan is talking about the joys of chocolate. Yeah. And Virag writes, doing this allows me to be more than the small, insignificant feeling. Exactly. And it can still feel that way. I feel sad when I think of how many years I tried to talk myself out of feelings or make them change somehow in various ways, including with alcohol. And I love it that I now get to help people get this move where you get to be here and feel how you feel. Yeah, Susanna writes, I'm sensing a feeling, something in me, right, that wants to hide from the difficult things. And I'm saying hello to it. Oh, yes. Wonderful. I'm glad you've got a place to share these things. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so David writes, can you explain what changes is how we feel about the feeling? Yeah, sure. So if I'm anxious and I don't like feeling anxious, I'm sort of caught up in that sort of inner tangle. I'm both anxious and I don't like feeling that way. And the whole thing's unpleasant. I mean, no wonder I don't like feeling anxious. It hurts. But when I say, hello, anxious, hello, something in me that's anxious, and hello, something in me that doesn't like feeling that way, it's like I've shifted my position. I've gotten to a place where I can be with both of those. And they're not fighting each other anymore because I'm sort of in between them. So hello, anxious, and hello, something that doesn't like the anxious, and I'm here. Do either of you want to talk to me? Because I'm here to listen. And the anxious feeling will tell me what it's so anxious about. And I want to listen without assuming that I already know. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been surprised by what the part was actually anxious about. Oh, that's what it is. And that brings a relief when something in you that has feelings gets heard for how it actually feels. And then I can listen to the other one as well. So how I feel is not the same as how these parts of me feel. Yeah. So Christina writes, I feel the news is bigger than me. Yeah. So this is about your feelings. That's what you're bigger than. Your own feelings. And everything inside you needs your company. And it is not true that the external events cause our feelings. It's not true that we're helpless victims of the external events, no matter how awful they are. And you can imagine different ways of reacting to the same external events. So it isn't true that what's happening out there caused you to feel that way. It contributes. But the other factor in the mix is you. It's the external events plus you that equals the feelings. And I'm not saying you should feel differently. I would never say that. What I say is, give company to the feelings that you have and be curious. Be curious what it is about that brings this feeling. And it's so interesting that the very obvious things that we might think can surprise us from inside. So I'm curious what it is about 100,000 deaths and going up that brings this feeling in me. So what it is about that and me that brings this feeling. Curiosity is such a powerful gift to yourself. What I'm talking about today includes bringing curiosity to yourself. So when we said hello, I am sensing something in me like this. I am saying hello to that. We're already bringing curiosity, kindness, compassion. Can you feel the quality that it just starts flowing? As soon as we can be bigger than our feelings, curiosity, kindness, and compassion starts flowing. Wow. So Elizabeth writes, what do you do about other people who are trying to change how you feel? Well, you can do all kinds of things. You can say, I'm not comfortable right now with the way you're talking to me. I have a different way of approaching things, which I would really invite you to be curious about. Sometimes there's something in me that I want to say hello to, but it's as if it's hiding from me. Oh, I have that experience all the time. But you know what's really cool? You can have a relationship with something in yourself that's hiding. It doesn't have to come out of hiding. So you can say, you know, I feel numb right now, but I know that there's something in me that's hiding that feels really scared. It doesn't have to come out of hiding. I'll just send it a message. It's like being in a room with a kid who's hiding. I know nobody's in this room, but if they were, I would send them a message that it's okay. It's okay to hide, and I'm here to listen whenever you feel like coming out. Yeah, that's right. Very nice. Such a pleasure to be with you today. So one thing I love saying to people is don't assume you know your feelings and don't assume you know the reasons for how you feel. Your body, your living body is always available to let you know what's real for you. This is our groundedness. This is where we are. Not the feeling right now about the future is all we have. We don't have the future. The feeling right now about the past is all we have. So it's the right now in the body, here it is, that I get to have a relationship with. And I can be bigger than my feelings without trying to change them. And I can say, I am sensing something in me feels, and then I can be curious. And when you expand your sense of this bigger self, and by the way, the term we use in focusing for the bigger self is self in presence, self in presence. Your self in presence is more comfortable with uncertainty than the parts of you are. Like, okay, there's a lot of things I don't know. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what I do know. And let's be curious about what's next. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been fun being with you. We do this every week. See you next time, maybe, if that feels right to you. And bye for now. Take care. Oh, glad you had a good time. Take care. Bye for now.